Welcome back to this week's episode of the Corde Snell Show. I am not even the host. I'm the guy. This is my show. This is who I'm with. But with me, I got next to me. What up, Jared? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be back.
What's up, Noah? Hey, I'm actually calling your name instead of Angel. That's an inside joke for the podcast. Real quick, I keep talking about inside jokes. Let's tell what the inside joke is. So randomly, sometimes I'm a teacher and I call people the wrong names. I call whatever name that pops in my head, and that kind of gets stuck for whatever reason. I think it's like a stuttering thing, or sometimes I stutter, or it's like in the moment you can't think of anything, so you just say the first thing that comes to your mind. And sometimes I call people the wrong name. Now, Noah doesn't even have the name Angel in any way of his full name, but I just start calling him Noah Angel. And it kind of stuck. And every once in a while, I just reverence Angel. That's what I'm talking about. His name's Noah. I didn't know if he wanted his name out on the podcast, but hey, I'm letting y'all know. What up, Angel? What up, Noah? Hell yeah. Now it sounds like there's extra people in the background. Hell yeah. What's up, George? Anyway, Jared, I think I'm becoming my parents, man. I think I'm getting old and I'm becoming my parents. It sucks because I remember you start saying the stuff that your parents said to you back in the day, right? And then I know I'm getting old because I start saying back in the day, all right? Remember one time I was with my younger siblings and I told them, hey, you got young legs, stand up, right? And I got so mad at myself because like, oh snap, I'm becoming them, right? Because in the moment, I used to always hate when my uncles used to always tell me, they was like, hey, yo, get up, you got young legs. I never knew what that meant. I'm like, what you mean I got young legs? My legs hurt. I be doing stuff. I be doing that. But then now as I'm older, I realize what they were saying, like, hey, get up. I got bad knees and a bad back. I need to sit down and rest my knees, right? But then those same uncles I used to hate sometime too, because they will say, get up, you got young legs, because they'll be in the kitchen or some like place doing something. And then they'll be like, hey, we need help with the food, or we need help bringing this stuff in. So they would call me to come help, or my other cousins to come bring the food. Or like whatever they need, like sodas, like some kind of chairs or stuff like that. So we moving a ton of stuff. And then I used to hate because they would never be in there. And then they would do this. They'd be like, oh, y'all done? Man, I was just about to come in here and help y'all. But I see y'all got it. And then so I go sit down, tired, tuckering, like, you know, just sweating. And then one of my uncles was like, hey, yo, get up. You got young legs. And I'm like, I'm not getting up. I literally got into an argument with one of my uncles because he told me to get up, and he was like, hey, get your, he was like, tell him, he said, hey, Lou, get your son, tell him to get up. He's like, my dad was like, get up. I was like, why I gotta get up? I was like, I'm sweating. I brought in all these dang chairs. I was like, he didn't do nothing. He was just in there. Also, my uncles drank. That was another thing too. My uncles drank, so that was another reason why I'm like, I gotta get up because you drunk. like I was in here. You ever see that person coaching you to do stuff? Like, okay, you want to lift with your back? Don't lift with your back. Lift with your knees. Lift with your knees. Yeah, lift with your knees. And they start drinking something hella much. So you just start drinking. They be like, okay, you're doing good. All right. Wait, don't lift with your back. Okay, there you go. Bend down more. Yep, there we go. Now you're moving it. Okay, there we go. All right. Careful. I don't want you to fall. All right. Careful. There's a step. You got a step coming up. All right. Slowly step down. There we go. Y'all got it. And you yell, why don't you come help me? Boy, I am helping you. I'm directing you. All right. That's how I'm helping you. I'm helping you get to the situation. Without me, you'll be lost. You would have tripped over that step. You didn't even see it. Wait. There's a rock. Move to the right. 2 steps to the right. There you go. See, I told you I'm helping you. My crazy uncles, man. That's my crazy uncles. That's why I don't drink Budweiser. I know it's random. As hell. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But because every 4th of July, okay, black people barbecue a lot. I don't know if you guys know this. If it's a holiday, we celebrate everything by barbecuing. 4th of July, Valentine's Day, whoever's random birthday, Labor Day, Memorial Day. That's just a good time for a barbecue, all right? So every barbecue, my uncles was always drinking, and they was drinking Budweiser. And I don't know if you remember like the old school Pepsi. It kind of looked like a diet Pepsi, but it also was the same color as like a Budweiser, right? And then I remember my uncles, we sit near me because we'd be like outside. If it was hot, we'd be like in Oakland. And if it's hot, like in the garage, it was kind of cooler down there. They'll put their cans. It's like, hey, make sure you don't put your can next to mine. I was like, I was here first. What do you mean put my can next to yours? Like, you put yours next to mine. And he was like, nah. And he was like, don't touch this can. I'm like, all right, cool. And initially I used to always drink like some kind of grape soda or like orange soda, or like I wanted like a 7-Up or a Sprite, but 7-Up was always for my grandma because it was like, nah, baby, this for us. Because for some reason, adults always say two particular sodas or a few particular sodas is just for the adults. I don't know why, but it always was a thing. And then so one time when I think my grandma, my great aunt gave me a Pepsi, and it was the same color as like Budweiser. So I've been drinking like Pepsi nonstop, right? I got it right here and I set it down. He was like, careful, I put my beer over there. He's like, don't pick up my beer. And I don't know what the hell a beer was. That, you know, I'm 7, 8. I don't know what that is, right? And then he puts his can next to mine, and I pick it up and I drink it, and I was like, "Oh, something's wrong with my Pepsi." And I start pouring it out. He was like, "Hey man, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? That's my beer." I was like, "You drink that nasty thing?" And then I get in trouble. Because he walk upstairs, your son up here drinking beer. He out there drinking beer. Then he had the nerve to pour it out. And then I poured it out because I was concerned. Because I'm like, this Pepsi went bad. It's the same color as piss. You drinking piss? My uncle out here drinking piss. He's like, that ain't piss, that's beer. I was like, well, I don't know what you call it. It's disgusting. All right. Then he was like, so you just want to be out here drinking beer? You want to be a drunk? Huh? You want to be a drunk? And it was weird that my drunk uncle was asking me if I wanted to be a drunk. It didn't make no sense. And because of that, I never drank Budweiser, because if they wasn't, because as he was yelling this at me, you could just smell the beer on his breath. Like you just smell all of it. It's all in my face. So, you know, just somebody with bad breath who won't stop talking to you. And I'm like 8, and I just can't, because you can't run away from adults. You can't just like, I'm gonna leave, because they'll pull you like, where you going? Don't you run away from me when I'm talking to you? I'm just like, and then to this day, I don't drink Budweiser. I drink a Bud Light, but I don't drink Budweiser. It's different can, so it's different. But yeah, that's just a little background about me. Just random about my drunk uncles. Sometimes I be late. I'm not gonna lie, I be late to this podcast, and I'll be late to other things. A lot of times it's my family. And I honestly, I hate being late, but I feel like I'm becoming a late person, which is something I really hate, because my mom and my sister was always late to everything. Like, if, you know how they say, if something starts at 7, tell them 6:30 so they would get there on time. Sometimes, like, okay, if it starts at 7, it starts at 5, because my mom will be like, okay, well, if it's 7, I can get there about 7:15, 7:30. That's not that bad. But then they'll actually get there at 7:45. My mom used to be super bad at being late. Then she's like, okay, well, whatever. If I wasn't supposed to be there on time, I wasn't supposed to be there on time. It wasn't meant to be. And I'm like, Mom, you left at 6:58. Like there was leaving on time would have been the first thing, right? So, but sometimes like when I'm leaving the house, or I'm like leaving to go to a show or to come to the podcast, the number one question I always get is, where are you going? Like, I got the joke about it. I'm like, why I'm late. I talk about like my black family, like we'll pray and they'll ask me where I'm going. Cause it's true. They'll ask me where I'm going to try to figure out, like my sister does it too, which is annoying, cause my sister asks me like, where you going? Where your antennas going? And I get mad, cause I'm just like, yeah, my mom, you can't be asking me where I'm going. And so nowadays I just lie and I just say, I'm going on a date with one of her friends. And she's like, you guys like, yeah. So me and Sam, which is her friend Samantha. Shout out to Samantha, thick ass. I'm gonna get it. We gonna get into it a little bit, but yeah. So I just lied to say I'm going out with one of her friends, and then she's just like, well, yeah. So we just out here lying. I was like, hey, we've been hanging out a lot. I don't know. Y'all ain't hanging out as much. Why you think that's it? Because me and her, we tough. We hanging out and everything. Should I be driving her car? Because her friend Samantha got an Audi. I'm like, should I be driving her car and everything? Like, she live in Vallejo. You know, I know where she stay. I'm like, you don't know where she stay. And then like, I remember I randomly guessed the location where she stay. She's like, how you know where she stay? And I was like, oh shit, I was right. I was like, but yeah, so then that's annoying. But then when they asking me, so this what happened last week, right? Literally asked me, it's like, where you going? And I was like, I'm about to go. Like, I don't want to tell you, but it's like, okay, what you about to go do? I said, I'm about to go shoot a podcast. Oh, okay, cool. And then like, I made my coffee and I had like with my mug and I was pouring it like in a regular cup. They was like, why you putting it in a cup? I was like, cause I'm just travel. Like, just like, no, you should put in like in a travel mug. It's like, let's see if we got any travel mugs. It's like, okay, well, here go a travel mug, but it ain't got no lid. Well, let's find a different one. Okay, when we go through like a little, like, let's look through all this different type of stuff. Like, I'm like, no, I'm cool with my cup. Like, no, the cup, that's not efficient. You should like look for something else. Like, oh, my sister like found like a little travel mug. She's like, here's the one I'll be using. And I'm like, this thing looks dirty. Like, yeah, you're right. You should probably clean that out. And I'm like, I don't fucking want this travel mug in the first place. Why the hell I'm like no? And then like she's like, see, like, look how nice and stylish, and I poured it. She's like, see, it's the exact same. Doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look nice right now? Doesn't that look nice? And then my little brother, you ate? You should probably eat. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna grab a banana. And my sister's like, the bananas that I bought. I was like, first off, you be eating the bananas that I buy too. All right, we just eating bananas around here. Okay, this is just be happening. All right, we eat each other's stuff. Don't you be saying I'm eating up your stuff. I was like, because I used to go shopping all the time. You used to stay eating my stuff. And then that's why I was 25 minutes late last week. Cause little shit like that happened. I wasn't 25 minutes late. I was like 2 minutes late, but I thought I was gonna be 25 to 30 minutes late. Cause that's what happens as I'm trying to openly leave. They start having me do other stuff. Like my mom used to do this all the time to me. I used to wear like, so this, right? Oh, shout out to the Corde Made Your Day merch. This is one of my shirts. This is one of my favorite things. If I made your day, if I made your night better, or if the Corde Snell Show podcast made your day, hell yeah. Support the merch, inbox me, ask for a shirt, right? So my mom used to do this. Like, hey, where you going? Well, you wearing that shirt? The Corde Snell shirt? I'm like, yeah. Like, why are you wearing that? Or like another shirt. But like, now I don't think you should be wearing that. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah. What's up, pants? That shirt got a stain on it. I'm like, no, it don't. It's like, yes, it do. But like, they'll be like right here on my bicep. You don't see that stain? No, it's cool. And you like start scratching. Like, see, if you got to scratch it off, that means it's dirty. Go upstairs and change. What? I gotta go upstairs, like, like, cause I try to leave to get to the spot 15 minutes early. Like, go upstairs and change, to come back down. I was like, nope, I don't like that shirt either. Like, you don't wear it with those jeans? Like, really? You gonna wear it with those jeans? What shoes you got on? What about the new shoes we got you? You should wear the new shoes. My shoes might be tucked away in my like closet somewhere. So you don't want, well, if you want me to go upstairs and help you, I'll go upstairs and help you. If you need help, all you have to do is ask. And I was like, Mom, I was perfectly fine with the outfit I had on. And then I come downstairs, and what she picked out is like, see, don't you feel better than that? Don't you look nice now? You look nice now. Hold up. Ain't you late? Ain't you running late? I was on time. I was on time until you decided I needed to change my entire wardrobe. Like, I remember one time she did all that, and then she's like, I think you need to shave your beard. I think you need to come here. Let me see. Like, you need to shave that. Actually, she said shave your beard. No, I will not, because I'm about to be late. She was like, she grabbed me. It's like, you better go. It's like, come ask your dad. Ask your dad if he like your beard. It's like, I mean, it's cool. It's not something I'll rock and stuff like that. See, that means you need to get your beard trimmed, right? You need to get your beard trimmed. Made me get my beard trimmed. And then my homies was like, hey man, why are you always late? And I'm like, I got a black family. You don't understand. So that joke that I tell about the prayer thing just being funny, all the stuff right here has actually happened. Like that, it has happened a ton of times, right? Because usually I think my mom makes me change and stuff like that, because she thinks what I'm wearing is not a positive representation of our family. Like, every time you go out, you should look nice, you should look presentable, because in like the black community, or just like if you grow up like in impoverished areas, right, I'll be honest, okay, sometimes white people, y'all be like, I don't know, random white people, y'all be wearing like beat up stuff. Y'all like to look like the homeless look, right? But because it's like, it doesn't matter like what you're wearing, right? Like beat up, like Chucks, like dirty Chucks is always the go-to, right? But then if you come in from like a black community, like you have beat up Chucks or you have holy Chucks, that means you poor. So you never want to seem poor. You never want to seem like you're struggling, right? So you always want to look presentable. Make sure your jeans are ironed. Make sure your shirts are ironed. Make sure there's no stains on your shirt that's dirty and things like that. So then that's why I'm always like having to change stuff last minute to what she want me to wear, even though the beard thing is, I'll tell it. My mom thinks if your beard is unkept, that means your bald hair is unkept too. That's what she told me once. She's like, Corde, you need to trim that up, because ladies think if that is that unkept, then it's unkept down there. And I was like, Mom, nobody thinks that. I've never heard that. I've never heard like, I've never heard does the carpet match the drapes? Does the bush match the bush? Like this is I've never heard that. I've never heard that at all. Speaking of which, hey, y'all shave y'all bald hair?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the weird one. Well, because it's whatever. Like I don't. Y'all do?
I do. I mean, there's times where I let it ride, but like
Okay.
I try to take care of it if I have the time.
What's the process? Like I don't.
That's why you got to get. They're not a sponsor. I just want to say they're not a sponsor, but that's why you want to get something like Manscaped because they actually do have like a good trimmer for that type of thing.
Yeah, and I was gonna go into that because I remember Manscaped. I saw a ton of commercials of Manscaped popping up, and Manscaped got super popular during the pandemic. And I'm just like, Manscaped, make sure you're fresh up there and you're shaped down there. And I'm like, we're in a pandemic. We ain't going nowhere. Why would I be shaving my balls? Like if I'm not going nowhere, who am I gonna see? And if I'm with my girl shacking up, I ain't about to be shaving my balls for her. Like, what's the point of that? Like, what is it? But then now I'm thinking about it. That was actually great marketing because while you're indoors all the time, right, you can practice and make sure by the time you eventually go out, you got the fro. Giving your balls a fade. Or give it, I don't know, like weird designs or some shit like that. Just like a. Nah, this is too much ball talk. I'm not gonna talk about it. Just random. But yeah, so I guess I need to get some Manscaped. All right. We're not sponsored by them, but hey, hopefully they can sponsor us. Manscaped, reach out to us. The Corde Show needs you. All right. I need to get some
Help Corde out.
yeah, help Corde out. Like, yeah. Hope Corde out. Hope Corde out, all right? Hope Corde out. This is going great. This is going great. Y'all want to hear my prom story? So the story I told you guys before, I got a prom story for y'all. Y'all want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yo, so welcome back to the episode. We had a little technical difficulties. I was telling an amazing story about some thick ass girl with some baby fat pink velour outfit. But thanks to somebody in a damn camera, shout out to iPhones. Just stopping the video randomly midway through it, and somebody doesn't know how to set their phone up to don't close after a little bit of time. We're trying to do the video thing, but somebody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and we're all learning during this process. Fuck you, George. All right, this your first day and you're fired already. Okay. But yeah, so we told an amazing story. It'll be up on the audio version. We'll drop it and like I'll comment later, and I'll probably retell it like another time because I literally remembered this like a few days ago, and it's such a good story and I love it. Next up, Jared, you was asking me a question last week that we was talking about. We was talking about football, and then like I wanted to go pro, but I didn't, and I kind of went like in a different venture, ended up finding comedy. What was you gonna ask me if you remember it all?
I think it was, when you decided you were going to make the jump from being an athlete to being a comedian. Okay.
So several things. So I remember, one of my first passions was I wanted to go pro in football. That was like the thing. Because I was talking about like, I made the switch from high school playing line. I was only 240, and I started playing linebacker, and I was like real chill, and I was real sexy. So I was like, hella, like I was putting Jared to shame. Like, how like you always sit like two next to two buff bros. Like I was, yeah. What happened? I had eventually developed a thing, seizures, or they thought it was actually a different disorder. And then I came back from that and I was playing, but the medicine made me put a lot of weight on, right? While this was happening, I got into stand up, I think that April, and then the season didn't happen till like that fall, right? But I'm training, I'm like kind of like doing stand up. I kind of like doing jokes, but the funny thing about it, I was never confident in like telling jokes and never thinking I was that funny because my cousin was the funniest person I know, right? So fast forward to the fall, we're having our first game. I'm having a good game. I have 5 tackles and a sack, right? Then one of my teammates runs. So I jump on the pile, falling off. And my teammate runs and try to jump on the pile, miss the pile, hits my knee, right? Tore my MCL. I was out for the rest of the season. I always say tear my ACL MCL because it sounds worse. I actually sprained my MCL, but it was a grade 2 sprain. It was between 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks. So it was like a severe sprain. It was grade 3 sprain is a tear, but I had a grade 2 and they was trying to figure out like how bad was it. And I remember I was rehabbing for 5 weeks, like every day, 4 or 5 days a week, and I still couldn't really do much. So he was like, you might be towards the 8 weeks part of the injury. And then that shit still, like, I remember I hit the 8 week mark and that still wasn't like fully back. So that next week, right, there was a comedy show that the lady was putting on, and like I'm with my team on crutches, and I'm like, fuck, man. And then my knees started getting better, so I was kind of able to walk and stuff like that. And then I was like, fuck, I could have been on stage right now telling jokes instead of being out here crutching and like hobbling and just cheering my team on. It was kind of like this weird thing. It was like, fuck, I want to be out there. But fuck, I could be on stage like doing something else. I was like, but I want to be out here with my boys. I was like, well, I'm not doing nothing. I'm literally not doing nothing. And then my homie broke his leg. So I ended up giving him my crutches so he could like crutch off the field. Because they was like, well, you good? I was like, I kind of. So I kind of had like this like, huh. So and I'm like, oh, well, this is a good sign because if I kind of can walk or whatever, I could probably get back in like about 3 weeks, something like that. And just play like the rest of that for the season. One of my coaches, who I like kind of had a lot of faith in, he told me that he didn't see me going pro. So that really, when you down and dumps after injury, anything can motivate you to kind of stop. So that like motivated me to stop playing and like kind of like start taking my mind elsewhere, which really sucks. Like, don't listen to your coaches. Don't listen to coaches who doubt you. Because I remember at the time I was like, I was 20, about to be 21. And then if I came back for the next year, I've been 21 and turning 22, like if I transfer to the school. And then let's say if I played 2 years at the school, I'll be going into like the draft 24, 25, right? And then there's not a lot of people who get drafted at that age, but I was like, I could put it like, got it out those sites like, okay, there was Terrence Newman, there was this guy who got drafted, but then also because, I was like Chris Winkie, he won the Heisman, he got drafted at 27, Brandon Weeden later on, he got drafted at 28, and I'm just like, yo, if you're good enough, they'll draft you, all right? It just you gotta be that much better. Also, I'm more mature because I'm older, I'm not out here partying as much, I'm being way more focused because I don't have the luxury of like a guy coming in 20, 21. I was like, you gonna get me, I'm mature, and he was like, nah, I don't know if you could be drafted high with the age of 25, and like that stuck with me. As I'm hurt, trying to recover because I was at the 5 or 6 week point, and then I couldn't run yet. Like my leg was just dragging. I was trying to run and like I couldn't pick my right leg up. So it's just adding to the depression. Then I was like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna just do comedy. I'm gonna be going comedy now. The passion of football had left, and I was like, also, I don't get hit on stage. I was like, I'm not in a risk of injury until people got slapped at the Oscars or a few people rushed the stage and stuff, right? But I was like, all right, well, let me just try to pursue this other passion. I'm kind of good at it. People keep saying I'm funny, and I'll go this, and I'll like figure another way out. So I got good grades. I think I had like a 3.2 GPA. I was like, so football ain't the end all be all. And I would try to be like one of those athletes who like had amazing grades too. So I was like, well, I'll just do something else. But I miss football so much. I missed it so much, and it was like a long transition into comedy. But yeah, that was the decision I made because I was like, all right, my coach don't believe in me. I got hurt again. Like I had seizures before. And this when CTE was becoming a big thing too. So it's like I had seizures and then the risk of CTE and then concussions became big. And I had a concussion, I think like the year before. And so it was like all that in the one, like maybe I should stop playing football. Even though I love it, even though it's my passion, even though I thought I was going to go pro and things like that. Maybe this is gearing me towards another way in another direction, where CTE doesn't happen when you're on stage. I'm not getting hit. My body's not being broken down every single week, and I don't have to be yelled at every day by coaches and like kind of other stuff. So that's what I started to pursue comedy. So yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, comedy saved me honestly. Because I have two cousins. One went to D3 in LA, and my other cousin was supposed to go to Fresno State. He got into the school. He's supposed to walk on. He was like 230, 240. He's 6'1". Hell of a tackler. This motherfucker hit. Like, okay, this dude hit so hard, he hurt his neck. Right? He hurt his neck because this is what he told me. He went to Humboldt State, They was trash at football, and he was only like, I think at the time, because he's up there, he only weighed like 225, because he, when you run and shit like that at a program, they make you super. So he was like 240 normally, but then he got down like 225 chiseled, right? He said they had this fat dude playing tight end. He was like, cuz the motherfucker had to be 320 playing tight end, but he was balling though. He was like, man, so this back in the day when you could hit guys, right? He's like, so fat cuz coming across the middle, and he playing middle linebacker, outside linebacker. So he went up to hit him, and he's like, cuz, I ain't backing down from nothing. I was like, did you like shoulder? He's like, no, I went full on in. So he fucked up his neck, tried to knock out a 300-pounder. He did. And then it fucked himself up at the same time. And then he had to sit out a year, but then he was able to come back and stuff. But I remember he had like the full on like neck harness kind of a thing. I was like, who the fuck was you hitting? He was like, cuz it was this dude. He was 6'3", like 320, 330. I swear to God. I was like, did you knock him out? Hell fucking yeah, I did. He didn't get up, but neither did I. Oh. I was like, damn. So he was going to walk on there. And then like sometimes when you're a former athlete, you got to figure out a way of what you transition into. And comedy helped me transition. Like it took a long time for my subconscious to catch up to it, because I still see football fields randomly, or I see a big field. I'm like, you could put a football field right here. You could put a football field right here. But then it took me, I think it was about 5 years ago, I started walking in the bars and was like, hey, you can do a comedy show here. You can do a comedy show here. And that took years to happen. Because every time I would see like a random field, I'm like, you can put a football field right here, you can put a stadium here, you kind of just right there, you can go right there, and then kind of stuff like that. So my subconscious was able to do it. And then my other cousin, who was super talented, he went to a D3. He struggled with not going pro as well, because they didn't have no other outlet. Like his grades was cool. I think he had like 2.5, whatever, but it wasn't like great for like a master's program or graduate program. It was like a real struggle, like, because football was it. Football was his passion. He had a girl at the time, and then like he kind of pursued her interests and things like that. So, but yeah, it's he talked about struggling because his dream died, and he had to figure out what's next. Like, because he was super talented, but went to a D3 or NAIA, which he was much better than. He probably should have been like at a D1 AA at worst. Like, I forget what school it was. I'm like, bro, I'm like, and then he was supposed to transfer to Fresno State too. He was supposed, and then so it was gonna be a thing like where my cousin who knocked the dude out was going go to Fresno State. He was going the NIA. He was like, fuck this. He got into Fresno State. He just had to pass that class, and they was gonna wait on me, and then we was all gonna be on the Fresno State team. But then life happens, and he hurts his neck. He goes there, like, lost the passion, and then I like hurt my knee. So then like these other things happen, but I turned to comedy. My other cousin started working and things like that, and then my cousin was in LA for helping this girl pursue her interests. So yeah, and then we all kind of went our different ways, and then because of comedy, I was able to fall. My love of football was able to fall into comedy, and I would just like kind of went head on. Like I remember, I bought a ton of fucking. Like before, like I had a Netflix account on Netflix, like really blew up. I had so many stand-up DVDs. Like I had Ralphie May, I had Bernie Mac, a tribute to Bernie Mac. I had this other one called Why We Laugh, and I was just studying comedy. I had Godfrey's like 2010, and then I got into Pandora too, because I just like immersed myself. I was like, well, I need to treat this like I treated football. Like I'm studying comics, I'm doing all that stuff. I'm watching HBO specials. I'm watching all the 30-minute ones. Like I'm becoming a researcher of this kind of stuff. I like to dive full on in to really become that, and it helped. It helps so much. It sucks because sometimes when you study some of your favorite comedians and they still doing like remnants of old jokes, I'm like, you still do this? And then you wonder why, like, why does this person put out a special, and you see him in person, it's like, okay, that was from 2011, that was from 2012. Damn it, you still doing this shit? Like, oh, well, that was, I think I heard that in '90s. Did you? I was like, you still randomly doing that? I'm like, it's kind of a like where's the new shit? And like, oh, there it is. And then it's like, you get into like like certain parts. Like I know there's a famous comedian who I loved. He did this. I remember he started doing some kind of older material, like the hits, right? He did like 10, 12 minutes of the hits, because I remember I counted it. And then he did 35 to 40 minutes of all new shit that I haven't heard. So I'm like, oh, he opened up with the hits, and then he got into some new stuff. He got into some political stuff. He talked about this. He talked about that. He talked about this and kind of stuff. And then he started to close with a few of like the old shit. And I'm like, oh, this is how I want to see it. Like if you see an old head or an OG doing it, yeah. You know how they supposed to always have like a new hour? I'm like, nah, he's like, I'm going to open up with some stuff to get you laughing immediately, get you on my side, like right out the gate. And then I'm going to get into some shit that I want to talk about, you know, which was dope to see. And I'm just like, okay, this is how you do it. Then I saw all the comedians. I'm just like, this is old. This is old. This is old. Oh, that's a new joke. That's old. That's old. Oh, that's a new joke. Oh, that's old. That's old. Seen this. 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 Oh, that's old. That's new. That's new. That's new. Okay, cool. That's so. And then you see like a whole hour show, and they're only seeing like 15 minutes of new stand up, but like randomly. And I'm like, oh, this is why some people don't put out specials. But I'm just like, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. It's weird to see sometimes. But then I guess because I study over and overhaul it, I think that's why I kind of I still had a good time, but it wasn't like, it was like pretty good, but it wasn't like hilarious. Like, you know, how you finally wanted to see him. And I'm just like, oh, okay, this is why some people, because you ever hear the story like some comedians tour with the same hour for years and years and years and stuff like that, and they finally blow up, and then it's like kind of, you know, and you know, you get stuck like that. And I was just like, as a creative, I never wanted to get stuck like that. But then I'm like, well, if it's working, it's working, you know, kind of a thing. But it seems like sometimes some people might give up, some people don't. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know where this tangent is going. But sometimes I go to shows and it's disappointing because I'm like, I heard this. Like, wasn't he funny? I'm like, yeah, the jokes that I heard that was new was good. But then, because, you know, with jokes, you can't hear them over and over and over again. And for me, it was a guy who was like studying and loving these comedians. I used to listen to them all the time till at one point I had to stop because it was no longer funny, and then they started discovering newer people. And then when you hear them again in person, it's still funny because it's the first time you ever heard them say it live to you in your face, but it's not like the first time you've heard it. So it's kind of like, you ever watch like a rewatch an old movie you haven't seen in like 5 years, and it's like, it's still good, but you know the ending, but it's like, I had a good time though rewatching it. So you have a good time, but it's not like, damn, that shit was fucking funny. You see that? You see the one thing it was talking about? You, oh shit. It's like, oh yeah, nah, I know that one. Yeah, he did that in 2011. So yeah, it's cool. Pivoting. How much more time we gonna go? Or we keep going, right?
Yeah, as much as you want.
So I was on Instagram, right? And I saw this guy, or I saw this thing that says, after a breakup, guy posted his unphotoshopped ex-girlfriend's photos, and it was hilarious, yo, because it went from a chick who looked like she had a BBL to like, it was like before and after pictures. It was like BBL and the Photoshop stuff, and then no butt, and it showed like all her cellulite and wrinkles and stuff like that. Well, I ain't got no problem with cellulite, but I'm like, you can't have a Photoshopped ass and then have no ass. But I'm like, yo, that is so petty, yo. Like, that's the levels of petty.
That's foul.
Yeah, it's foul. Jared, have you ever done any petty things after a breakup?
You know what? Yes, I have. Mm-hmm. The last girl I broke up with, I immediately went on Facebook and said we weren't together.
Okay.
I don't feel good about that. Like, I broke up with her, and then I went home, and then I was immediately like, let everyone know, like, hey, I'm back on the market.
Breaking news: Jared is single again. That's what that is. I don't know if that's petty. Like, I'm like negative things, like, because all right, so being petty, but then also this. Oh, real quick, never sync your Facebook. Never sync your contacts with your Facebook page, right? Because this was happened to me a few different times after breakups. I've been on there and I've seen chicks who I talked to years ago all pop up and you may know. And at one point, I feel like Facebook was fucking with me because I had 7 chicks all lined up and they was all taken. And I'm like, damn, I'm still single out here. And I was like, fuck, was it me? Fast forward 2 years later, they all had kids and was all single. I was like, nope, it wasn't. Oh, so such a great moment. I'll say one thing that was petty. It was this one chick who I was dating back in college. She was a plus size model. She told me she wasn't a plus size model. She was a blogger, but I think she said she wasn't because she hadn't signed a deal, right? She was super toxic. Like, when I say toxic as hell, like remember she frustrated the fuck out of me one time. I remember I was studying for a quiz, or I was trying to go study, but I was like kind of procrastinating, right? So I remember I got in my car. I was gonna go because I usually study late, so I usually study like 10 p.m. to like 2 a.m. was like this like little rush. I would just get like 4 hours studying out. So I was trying to go, and this chick called me up, complaining that I didn't talk to her enough. And I was like, are you fucking serious right now? She was like, yeah, you don't talk to me enough. And I was like, I understand you're in school. I understand, but you need to understand. And I was like, well, if you're telling me I need to understand, you don't understand, right? So we're talking back and forth for like 2.5 hours just to calm her down for me not giving her enough attention, right? And she used to always think I liked her friends. Funny thing about it, the friend that I did like, she didn't know I liked her. And then I remember it was petty because she was just being extra petty. Like, oh, I bet you like that girl. I bet you want to talk to this plus size girl. I'm like, girl, I like you. All right. But then towards the end, I started saying, I don't know. You know that one chick? Like, hey, you got her number? Like, you know her Instagram? Hey, like, hey, is there any events do you go to that we can probably both meet her? Like, kind of a thing, right? Because I'm being petty at this point. And she's like, why you keep hitting me up, Corde? And I'm just like, cuz, like, you being like, I was just being extra petty, just like playing in all her insecurities, right? But she was so damn toxic. Like, she did a lot more stuff that I don't want to get into. But the funniest thing was, I still realize she's still being petty to this day because I'm randomly, she blocked me on like Instagram and stuff like that, right? And I'm just like, girl, like you blocked me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, cause we broke up because it was just like, all right, this ain't working out. You stressing me out. I'm still in school. I'm not trying to fail a final because you're having a bad day, right? And so she was like, oh, I just want to hang out. I want to do this kind of stuff and stuff like that. So then I hit her up. I was like, hey, you trying to hang out? Like, I haven't seen you in a bit. Like, we can like, you know, do what Jared was talking about where you can break up with a chick but still hang out because y'all still smashing, right? And she's like, Corde, why would we hang out? Like, we're not together. I was like, no, you said you want to see me still like kind of hook up. She's like, why would I do that? I only hook up with people I'm dating. And I'm like, girl, I'm just following you. And then she was like, you're just trying to hang out with me to see some other plus size models. And I was just like, wasn't true. I was basically trying to smash Jill, and I was still trying to see her to try to figure out like maybe after my test or my finals we can like start dating. And then because she said that, I was like, you know what? I do. So I became public enemy number one of level petty. Like, hey, you trying to hang out? I hear there's be some other plus size models in this area. You want to go and hang out there and we can all like kind of do some stuff. Just playing into all some insecurities because initially I was for it. I just wanted to hang out with her. But she started making up all this other stuff. So fast forward to now, like she has like a new dude, or I saw like a random post or something like that before she blocked me, right? She was like, I love my new boyfriend because she had like, I think at the time, this was like 2015, she had like 60 to 70,000 followers on Instagram back when that was like a lot. So nowadays that would be like 350 to 400, right? It wasn't easy to get that many followers. And like, I remember I was like, I need to get my followers up. I need to like do more stuff. You got 60. Like, how did you get that? She's like, Corde, well, like, why are you even asking me this stuff? Are you just only with me because my followers? I was like, no, I'm a comedian. And I was like, and I've been told that in order for you to get better or get more opportunities, you need a following of some kind. I'm just trying to figure out how to get a following, how to try to get like kind of that kind of thing. She's like, oh, okay. But then I see a post from her. And I'm like, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I just remember this because she was so toxic all the time, right? And she's like, I love my new boyfriend. We've been together for like 2 or 3 years. I really like the fact that he's not on social media, that he's not trying to have followers, that he's not like, you know, wants like to be big on social media. He doesn't want to like have like a fan page or have. I was like, girl, we stopped talking a long time ago. Why is your whole boyfriend sitting around me? And she's like, I also like the fact that he's way taller than me because she was tall. She was 5'10". I'm 6 foot. So I like the fact that he's like, you know, 6'7". And like, you know, sometimes guys are like, they're not that tall enough for you to date when you're a tall woman. I'm like, why are you? I feel like Mariah Carey. Why are you obsessed with me? And I kind of want to get more into it, but I don't want to seem like an asshole. But it was like, it was weird, yo, because this chick was so insecure. Because we talked for one period and we like stopped talking for whatever reason. We both dated other people, came back together. This is the time when we talked for like a long period of time. Like I got at one of her friends, didn't know it was her friend at the time, at a club. And this chick was like, I can't get you how you get like chicks' numbers at clubs. She's like, nah, follow me on Instagram. And I was like, what? And this is before following Instagram was like a big thing. Like, or like, hey, just get my Instagram, don't get my number, right? Like, girl, what? But that's all she had like 10 to 12,000 followers. So I followed her. her friend or whatever. And then that's when I found her page, and I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but we talked like a few years ago. We met on Tinder, and then like I found like one of her old pictures. I was like, I remember this was from your profile and things like that. And I'm like, yo, do you remember me and all? And then we talked for like 3 straight days, right? And then I eventually got a number, and then I was like, I'm in the Bay right now, but I live in Santa Barbara still, and then she lived in LA, so we started talking again. And because I got at her friend, and that's how we reconnected, she always thought I wanted to talk to one of her friends. And I'm like, why are you like this? She was like, I know you like my friend. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I know you like her. What do you mean I like her? She's like, I know. How? Like, I'm like, well, eventually if I meet your friends, I will have to like them if we continue on with this relationship, right? She's like, no, I know you're trying to get at my friends. And I was like, how am I trying to get at her friends? And her friends was toxic too. Her friend was toxic. This is like when Instagram stories came out. This is how long ago this was, right? When they just came out, right? And it was like the new thing. So where you can like post a pic, but then you could add a story. I remember that was new. I was like, oh, what's this random thing, right? So like I would just comment on people's stories because it was new. Because I'm like, this is like Snapchat or kind of thing. Like, oh, this what's up. This is dope. Like, I'm just like, oh, this is dope. And then she's like, well, I was hanging out with my friend, and she said you was in her DMs. And I was like, what? So she said, he's like, Corde, you in her DMs. Like, I don't know. I was going to tell him that I'm dating you again. And then like, I kind of mentioned to one friend, and then she overheard. She's like, oh, you still talking to him? He was in my DMs. And I was like, I wasn't. She's like, no, she said you was. I was like, did you ask her what I said? I was like, did you ask her what happened? She's like, well, you was in her DMs. Why was you in her DMs, Corde? I was like, well, she was at Disneyland, and I saw a picture of Goofy, and I said, oh my God, I love Goofy. Goofy is amazing. That's what I said. I was like, did you pull up her DMs to show what I said? I was like, because that's literally what I said to her. And her friend sicked and said, oh yeah, he was in my DMs. And I'm like, I don't know if this is a good friend of yours. I was like, but this chick is toxic. I was like, she's saying that I'm in her DMs when that's not even what I was like. I literally said Goofy. Cause also I really do love Goofy. Goofy movie, extremely goofy movie. The show that they had on Nicktoons, was it back in the day? Well, it was like channel 126 on DirecTV, like that channel. I was like, yo, I'm a huge Goofy person. And I was like, oh my God, Goofy. Like, I remember I went to Disneyland one time. If I saw a Goofy as a grown-ass adult, I would lose my fucking mind. Like, oh my God, Goofy. Like, oh my God, Goofy. Can I get a picture? Like, Goofy. Like, oh, like that. Like, you know how some people you see, like, it just takes you back to you as a kid? Goofy is that for me. And so they see her friend saying like, oh yeah, he was in my DMs. I'm just like, yo, your friend is toxic. And she was toxic too. So it was just like super funny. But yeah, being petty, I start hitting her up like, hey, let's go to like a plus size model event. I would love to be at one with you. You know, like I could take pictures of you and other plus size models. Maybe I can exchange information with them and kind of stuff. And she was just like, she looked at me like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious right now? I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be great? Shouldn't you network? Like, shouldn't you be networking with them? I was like, these bitches be backstabbing and stuff like that. I was like, nah, but it's if you get more followers than them, then you really on the rise, because you know and stuff. It's like, Corde, I think you love these plus size models. I was like, do I? Do I love these plus size models? Do I just think they goofy? Like, oh, that was petty of me. But that chick was super toxic, though. I'm not gonna lie. Taylor Swift is out here swag surfing. We talked about this last week, and I hate it because we talked about it last week. Yeah, swag surf. I said she was just doing the Save the Last Dance thing with the shoulders. He was like left, right. And then I saw an article that said, "What is swag surfing?" And is this important or some shit like that? And I got mad because I'm just like, oh my fucking God, here we go, a non-dancing white chick gonna take all this credit for swag surfing. It's something that black people do and love, and I'm just like, please don't let this be a thing, Taylor Swift. And it was funny because I'm like, she's like offbeat, you know how people you see like, you know, like, because it's like swag surf, she's like ha. And it was funny because it looks like they was doing something like down south in like a gigolo or like a bingalow or something like that. Or somebody was playing like the guitar. They're like, like grab your partner around it. I was imagining all that, and it was just Stupid as hell. Taylor Swift, don't swag surf again, ever. I was thinking about this on the way here. I was like, did Travis Kelce teach her how to kind of swag surf? It's just she's doing the best that she can for what she, because, you got friends who can't dance. So you got a homie who teaches you, but they're not the best dancer themselves. So you get like a little bit of what they taught you and just, yeah, I swag surfing for people who can't dance. I think I'm out of stuff. I don't know.
We can just wrap it up.
All right, we can.
It's my fault, folks. It's my fault. You're going to see a lot of choppiness in this episode because I got a new phone that we're recording on and it kept closing on us. So sorry, we'll get it fixed by next week. That's my fault.
It's all right. Damn you, George. We should call that episode that. Damn you, George. And just start it off with that. We can do it. All right. So, all right. This is the Corde Snell Show. If you didn't listen, that means you didn't get your hour of Corde this week. You need a good hour of cardio. I wouldn't say cardio so bad. You need a good hour of Corde every week. That means you listen to the podcast, you've digested, and Corde makes your day. Hit me up on Instagram, TikTok. I sell my merch on there. If I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if I triggered you because my level of pettiness was something that you hated, sorry about that. But hey, I made your day some kind of way. I made it better. Usually I always make it better. So I always say, get yourself an hour of Corde by listening to the Corde Snell Show, because just like how Play 60 was like, you need 60 minutes a day to stay active. You need 60 minutes a week of Corde. Or check out my other YouTube where I post a bunch of stand-up clips on there as well. Go to my Instagram page, which is, if you're wondering, how do I follow you? It's literally Corde Made Your Day on all platforms. I appreciate every last one of y'all. Leave some comments. If you got a funny prom story, leave comments in the comment section. If you want us to talk about some different topics or some stuff that you like about the show, rate, review us, share us on subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Apple, Spotify, and give us 5 stars. I'm gonna borrow this from my homie, not my homie, but like a podcast I love. He's like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you give us 4 stars, I believe you are a hater, and don't be a hater, because ain't no haters out here. This is a Gatorade shirt, but we don't need no haterade or no holleration. Shout out to Mary J. Blige. This has been the Corde Snell Show, and we out.